My name is Isabel and I confess I cheated. Yes, I cheated, but I didn't cheat on a boyfriend, I cheated on women. In this video, I'm not only going to tell you why I did it, but I'm also going to reveal women's secrets so that you can finally understand how women work, stop being fooled by worthless women, and be able to conquer a worthy one. So pay attention, because I'm going to show you how a simple attitude will change your life in relation to women. From the moment you start acting this way, you will no longer be used by slutty and self-interested women who only want gifts, rides, and perks. They keep stringing along nice guys like you, while they go out with scoundrels who don't care about them. You will attract women's attention without having to lie, deceive, or pretend to be someone other than who you are. You will also be able to win over that woman who only lives in your dreams. You will be able to establish friends with benefits and have women who are always willing to have sex with you. You will know how to identify which women are ideal for dating and which women are only good for sex. And above all, you will be known by women as a unique, different, and extremely attractive guy. A man who allows you to attract women without even saying a word. Yes, this is possible if you behave correctly. And this works for all men, regardless of whether you are chubby or skinny, poor or rich, handsome or ugly, shy or outgoing. If you can get with a few women, or if you are still a virgin, remember that the person telling you this is a woman, and I know what we consider attractive in a guy. And with this, you will finally understand why men who do not know women's secrets are destined to fail with them. They are condemned to be deceived, lied to, used, ignored, and even betrayed by unscrupulous women, who will satisfy themselves in the bed of other men who know these secrets while deceiving you. You will know exactly how women think and how they act. You will know what to do to conquer, date, stay with, or sleep with the woman you desire so much. And if your desire is to remain single, going out with several women every week, no problem. With what you will learn, this will finally be possible. You will no longer be fooled by women's games and miss out on chances to go out or have sex with her because you didn't understand what she really wants. All this because you will finally have access to a true view of what women really think about men. So don't worry if you want to know all this, watch this video until the end. Because if my conscience weighs on me for sharing the most private secrets about the female mind, I can take it down. And if any of my friends find out about this, I will take it down right away, because I am giving away all of women's secrets. And for sure, if anyone finds out, I will lose friends. So, I really ask you, only show this video to nice, honest guys who want to find a sensational woman or even go out with several, but without deceiving them, because if this falls into the wrong hands, bad guys will know exactly how the female mind works and will be able to screw us over, use us, and do us harm. Never share this with scoundrels, guys who don't care about women, or guys who are upset because of a disappointment in love. And for the love of God, never show it to feminists. Well, since you're still watching, I know I can count on you. I'll start by telling you why I decided to betray my sex, the female sex, and the reason why I won't think it's wrong anymore. In fact, I'm doing us women a favor. My brother Joseph has always been a good guy, ever since he was little. When someone needed something, he was the first to help. If our mother was washing dishes, he would run over with a smile on his face and offer to help. If our father was going to wash the car, he would arrive with the bucket and a sponge. I remember one time when we were walking down the street with our parents around Christmas time, and he had just earned some money to buy his present. When we saw two people sitting on the ground, a mother and son, they were dirty, with torn clothes, and were very thin. Joseph saw that scene and asked me why they were there. I told him that they had no money and lived on the street. Then he asked me how they both ate, and I told him that they got money and food from kind people. It was then that I saw one of the most beautiful scenes of my life. Joseph, who was only 9 years old, took all the money he had just earned and gave it to the two of them. And he also said, "I don't need any more toys, I have plenty, but they need food." He took this kindness into his life, and this includes partnerships, women, and relationships. At school, he always helped everyone and people took advantage of that. Girls were always asking him to do their homework and he always did. After all, in his head, if he were a good person, he would be well rewarded, right? Isn't that what we learn? that we should always be good, and we will be well rewarded in return? It's a shame that things aren't quite like that with women. When my brother was 14, he really liked a girl named Sophie. He did everything for that girl, all the homework, all the work by himself, and even named her as his partner. He always gave her gifts, and you can imagine the rest. Until on her birthday, he decided to surprise her and declare himself. He had been good for so many years, and the time had come to receive his reward. All he wanted was a chance to make her happy by his side. He spent months saving and weeks organizing everything. He would spend his nights awake writing a giant letter. After all, women are romantic and love to declare themselves, right? I tried to tell him no, that he shouldn't do that, especially in public. But he wouldn't listen to me. He was really determined and said that when you want something, you have to insist. Joseph had planned everything. He would go to school as usual, and during recess, when everyone was on the playground, he would play her favorite song. He had asked a friend to bring a portable radio, give him presents, declare his love, and ask her to be his girlfriend in front of everyone. So he bought a pair of gold earrings, which cost 4 months of his allowance, and also a bouquet of flowers. On the day, he took the present, the flowers, the letter, and happily went to school, because that would be the day he would receive his reward, Sophie's love. He arrived home 2 hours later than usual. His eyes were red, which I could tell was from crying. He opened the door and went to his room without saying a single word. I didn't even ask anything because it was obvious what had happened. Later, I found out from a friend of his that the girl tore up the letter, threw the flowers on the floor, and said, "Joseph, are you crazy? Have you gone completely crazy? We're just friends. You know I like Han." So he became the joke of the whole school. Well, it took him a while to get over it, and after a while, everything went back to normal. Joseph went back to being the nice guy he always was. Until, when he was 19 in college, it happened again. He fell in love with a girl named Joanna. She was a club promoter and worked selling tickets to parties. But she had to deliver these tickets, and she didn't have a car. Joseph had gained one of our parents when he got into Federal University. So guess who was driving her to deliver the tickets? Exactly, poor Joseph. Every afternoon, he spent time, money, and gas driving her around in exchange for a little attention. Not to mention the snacks she paid for every afternoon. Sometimes she even gave him a few kisses, maybe as a form of payment for the things he did or to keep him on a leash, which renewed his hope. She also told him about all the guys she went out with. Her friends gave her tips and advice, but he didn't listen, since they sometimes kissed. So she must have liked him and was just confused, right? All he had to do was be patient and insist that everything would work out. When I arrived and told him the truth that this girl was no good and was just using him, he got really angry. She said I was jealous because I didn't have a boyfriend, and that she did like him, otherwise she wouldn't kiss him sometimes or spend so much time with him. She also said that she was just afraid of a relationship now because she suffered with her ex-boyfriend. And that was all, but that she did like him and that true love conquers all. Gosh, he was so angry that he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. And he continued to be used for 9 long months. Until one day, she arrived dating another guy, a handsome scoundrel who treated her badly, slept with other people, and had already publicly humiliated her. When he kissed another girl at the club where she worked in front of everyone, he felt like trash. He felt used. He no longer saw any reason to trust women. Joseph came home kicking everything and opened the door with force that the keys hanging from it fell to the floor. I was so scared that I almost fell off my chair. I ran to see what had happened. I found Joseph in a way I had never seen before. Not even when he was taken out in front of everyone was he like that. He looked broken inside. It was as if the life had been sucked out of him. His eyes were sunken, he was pale, and his head was down. His breath stank of strong drink and his eyes were full of tears, ready to fall. He stood in front of the door without saying anything. I asked him what had happened. He looked me straight in the eyes and said, "The world is unfair, Isabel. No woman is any good. The thing is to be a scoundrel and you like to suffer. From now on, I'm going to be bad. I'm tired of being a fool. Once again, I tried to argue, but he kicked the little table in the hallway and went to his room, telling me to leave him alone. I still heard some angry screams and punches on the wall. I couldn't stand watching him choose the wrong women and suffer for them. He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to go out with self-interested sluts. He didn't deserve to cry at night, waste his time and money on women like that. My brother didn't deserve it. And worse, he still thought that we were all like that. I couldn't let that happen. So, I decided to throw the truth right in his face, that I told him that it wasn't quite like that, and that he was the one who was acting the wrong way and making bad choices, and that he should stop being a fool and start acting like a man, that he needed to change that. Being good is an excellent thing, but being a fool is something else entirely. He told me to leave the room, but from the look on his face, it seemed like he was finally understanding. Some time passed, and he was no longer buying gifts or being used by women. I thought everything had been resolved. Until one day after college, around 2 in the afternoon, I was with my friends sitting in a bar nearby. I was already on my second strawberry drink when I saw Joseph running after a woman on the street. Yes, running literally. And the worst part is that he didn't just go after one woman. He went after several. He was dressed ridiculously. He was wearing a beret, about 15 bracelets and 2 rings. He looked like a clown. Every pretty woman he saw, he would run after her and beg for her phone number. And some of them even gave her theirs. But out of pity. You could see on their faces that it was pity. I don't even need to say how ridiculous it was to see that. Well, every woman is curious, and I decided to look on his Facebook to see what was going on. I had to know what the hell he was doing, if he was using drugs, or if he had just gone completely crazy. On the social network, there were only packed photos, full of friends, wearing berets or hats, and wearing 1,000 accessories. Even more than me. If I didn't know him well, I would think he had turned gay in his room. Hidden under the mattress, I found a book called The Game. And inside it, a receipt for hundreds of reis from a boot camp. When I looked up on the internet what it was that he had spent so much money on, it was training to act exactly the way he was acting. Like a clown. In other words, he wasn't the only one who was screwing up. In fact, he was being trained for this. As if any woman would be attracted to a man who runs across the street after her like a puppy. I also saw that he commented a lot on a specific girl's photo. Sometimes he would compliment her. Sometimes he would say something bad about the photo. In his mind, this would make him different from the others and win her over. Besides being an idiotic idea, there was a little problem. This girl was with a friend of mine. That's right. She was bisexual. She was dating a woman. That was the trigger. I wasn't going to see this nonsense happen to my brother again. I felt obliged to act. I called him to talk, and he would have to listen to me, whether he wanted to or not. Now it was no longer his choice. I arrived and said, "Sit down, because now you're going to listen. Do you know why you haven't had success with women to this day? Because you're a man and men don't exactly understand how women think. And we're very different. You think you're all know-it-alls. The guys who are good in bed, the fuckers, the scoundrels. But there you are, losing to the little women. As you say." I took out my phone, opened a news story, and handed it to him. "Take a look at this. Check out this article about Brazilian actress Tammy Gretchen. Her girlfriend said that Tammy was the best lover of her life. That she dated several men, but none of them could compare to her. And do you know why? Because Tammy is a woman. At least she was. And we know exactly where we feel pleasure. What we like, what we think, and what we feel. Have you noticed that every day that passes, more women are coming out as lesbians or bisexuals? Have you seen how many celebrities are coming out these days? Ellen DeGeneres, Jodie Foster. And did you know that Angelina Jolie is openly bi? And that Lindsay Lohan is too? And these are just a few. Look around you. See how many lesbians or bisexuals you see out there. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. He said it a little shyly. And there's more. The other day in college, in anthropology class, a professor showed us a study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, which is a scientific publication. The article said that according to the research they did, heterosexual women reach orgasm in only 61.6% of sexual relations. In other words, only a little more than half of them can have orgasms with men, and that lesbians said they orgasm in 74.7% of sex. A little difference, huh? I also thought it was a joke, but I looked it up and it was true. Do you think this is a coincidence? Can't you see that women know much more about what women like than men? And it's kind of obvious. We have the same sexual organs. We know where we feel pleasure. The way we like to be touched. Do you think some brutes would be able to have the same effect? He nodded and started to get up thoughtfully. Calm down, it's not over yet. I said, did you know that the most successful sex book for women in recent years, 50 Shades of Grey, was written by a woman? And I'll tell you what, I guarantee that every woman is at least curious about going out with another woman, even if it's just once. Do you really think these guys are going to teach you how to get with women? Do you think they really know what they're doing? Do you think that using a few memorized phrases is going to turn you into a Don Juan? Spare me, Joseph. Women are completely different from men in absolutely everything. And obviously, we understand women more than men do. He remained silent, with his eyes wide open, as if he had discovered fire. Stop and think with me, Joseph. How have you been acting with women? Or do you try to hide your intentions, being a nice little friend? Or do you try to buy their attention with gifts? Or, even worse, do you keep saying something bad, thinking that it will cause attraction? Do you think women don't notice that? Do you think women are stupid? We notice when you're interested, and you keep doing 1,000 things for us. And because you're not man enough to ask us out, to make a move, we end up taking advantage of the suckers. And what about when the guy starts giving us gifts? Spare me. How ridiculous. Do you think we're prostitutes to be bought with material goods? Of course, we're not going to say no to receiving dozens of things. That's why we keep accepting and stringing the sucker along. But a guy like that will never have a chance. Women don't want men who are mentally weak and don't have the courage to take action. And this has always been the case. In prehistoric times, it was the strongest man who got women. Nowadays, it's the guy with the most attitude. The big secret to winning a woman over is consistency. In other words, acting in accordance with your intentions. If you want a woman, you have to be sincere. I'm not saying that in the sense of declaring yourself, but in the sense that if you want a woman, ask her out right away. Don't try to buy her, cheat her, be her friend, put her down or lie. Joseph, have you ever noticed that women hate jerks and badmouth them, but they praise and promote guys who don't cheat? The ones who tell her to her face that they only want sex and then stay with her. Even when we fall in love with a guy like that, and our dream is to make him fall in love, we don't get angry. After all, he was sincere. And every woman loves a sincere guy. Who likes to be deceived? Tell me. Think about it. It makes sense, he said. But is that really true? Can I trust you, right? Joseph, do you think I would want to hurt you? Do you think I would lie to you? What you've done so far has only brought you pain, and I'm tired of seeing my cute little brother suffer. I hugged him and he left saying, Okay, let's see if it works. Don't exaggerate either. I'm going to test this. If it's a lie, you'll have to deal with me. A few days went by and my brother was happier. One day when I got home from college, he was sitting in the living room playing with his cell phone. When he saw me, he smiled broadly. He stood up and said, Sister, let's go to the bedroom. I need to tell you what happened. He said he started using what I had said about congruence. He said he stopped giving little gifts, stalling, mistreating women with phrases to put them down, and started being more congruent. In other words, acting according to his will. He started being more direct. Not in words, but in actions. That now, if he liked a girl, he simply asked her out. He didn't try to buy her, play games, or trick her. And that if he just wanted sex, he didn't need to be a lying jerk. That by being congruent, everything would work out. That it was like magic. That's incredible. Last week, I met a hottie at a club. I didn't beat around the bush, that I took her to a corner to talk and kissed her. After that, we talked a few times by text message. And I took advantage of the fact that her father and mother had traveled, and that you were sleeping at Charlotte's house to invite her to sleep here. I used that technique you taught me, and she came right away. Without any fuss, she even came by bus. While we were in bed, still talking, her mother called. She ended up saying that she was at a friend's house. As soon as she hung up, she looked at me and said, "I hate lying to my mother. Tomorrow, I'll tell her everything." I just didn't want to answer the questionnaire now. She doesn't care. Like when there's something serious, or with her boyfriend. When it's just sex and nothing else, she doesn't like it very much. I could hardly believe it. I had to pinch myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming. She not only knew it would just be sex, she admitted it. She was totally cool with it. At no point did I tell her it would just be sex and goodbye. My actions showed that. And the most incredible thing was that the next day, she said she loved the night and wanted to do it again. She already asked me out again. She wanted to have something more. But she knew I only wanted sex. And she had no problem with that. She didn't get angry, she didn't curse me, and she didn't badmouth me to her friends. Quite the opposite. She admired me for the way I acted. And she even advertised it. "You are a genius. In fact, a genius. How come you didn't tell me this before? I tried. But you wouldn't listen," I said. Joseph continued. "There's also a girl I'm dating. Actually, I've always been kind of interested in dating her. We've been together about 5 times. And the last 2 times she asked me out. I told her I didn't want to date at the moment. Tactfully, of course. But to her face. And she keeps going out with me. All right. Before, I would beat around the bush and lie. And eventually, they couldn't take it anymore. They would get angry. They would end it all. And they would start badmouthing me to all their friends. When I saw it, I was burned by the whole group. Now when I get to college, all the girls are staring. And most of the time, one of them will come up to me and start a conversation. My friends are asking me what I'm doing differently. And I just said that now I know women's secrets. Well, you can thank me by making me a strawberry juice. And I smiled. A feeling of work accomplished. Weeks later, I'm in my room when someone knocks on the door. I open it and it's Joseph. But this time I'm not alone. Raphael, his best friend, is there. And he's holding a strawberry juice. Did I mention I love that? They asked to talk to me. I thought it was strange, but I told them to come into the room. Raphael, who lives here at home and was already close to me, started talking nonstop. He told me he was in love with a girl who was always stringing me along. He always made plans to meet up, but at the last minute, she would disappear or cancel. And he wanted to know what to do to win her over. I remember thinking, now I'm screwed that I became the female version of Hitch, Will Smith, as a love counselor. But since the drink looked so good and I was right there, I decided to tell him the secrets of women. He thanked me and left amazed with his eyes wide open. I still heard Joseph tell him, "I told you." After 3 weeks, I received a text message from Raphael saying, "Isabel, you won't believe it. You know that girl over there, who I like, and who only gave me the cold shoulder, who asked me out yesterday. I was suspicious. And so they wouldn't turn me down. I said I couldn't. But she insisted, and we made a date for today. In fact, she just left my house. You're awesome. Thank you very much. You have to teach this to other men." So my brother and his friends said I should teach this to other guys, that I didn't want to at all, because it would reveal women's secrets. And I couldn't betray my own sex. Then, The two of them reminded me of what women had already done to them. I remembered the scene of Joseph arriving home devastated. I also thought about the cases of my friends who do the same things my brother did. They give gifts, spend time and money, only to be deceived. And the naughty women just use them. And there are those who are too nice, declare themselves and hear that they are just friends. But the worst of all are the guys who use those ridiculous pickup lines and chase women in the middle of the street. And to screw things up even more, they even teach them and charge for it. At first, I confess, it felt heavy on my conscience. But I saw that nice guys deserve nice women. And that women especially deserve for men to know what we like. In all areas. In conversation, kissing, touching, sex, and relationships. We need men who know these things. And that's what we're lacking. So because of all this, I spent the last few months organizing what I call a guide to the hidden side of women. In this guide, I teach you everything you need to know about how we women think, what we like, how not to be fooled, how to identify a nice woman, and also the not so nice ones. Look at what you're going to learn. How to find out if a woman is for sex or dating. Imagine talking to a girl and being able to tell right away what kind of woman she is. Even if she pretends to be good or plays games, you will be able to know which women you should invest in and which ones are just for sex. This way, you will stop suffering and wasting time with the wrong women. In addition to saving time, if your intention is just easy sex, never be fooled by a slut again. The secret to knowing when a woman is into you, even if she is shy, plays games, or pretends not to be interested, is also knowing which woman is not interested in you, and you will no longer waste your time. Using this secret, you will also be able to know when a woman is just using you and deceiving you. And then, you will have the satisfaction of kicking her ass, because the way you've been acting with the woman you're interested in will not only drive her away, but will also make you look like a gay friend. And believe me, my dear, if she sees you as a gay friend, besides never being interested in you, she'll use you as a psychologist. She'll keep asking you for advice and telling you details about the men she sleeps with. I bet you don't want to know if the guy she's dating is good in bed. Do you? Please. So you need to stop making this mistake. The 3 biggest reasons why a woman loses interest in a relationship and leads her to cheat. Not knowing these reasons is the same as asking to be a cuckold. Is that what you want? The mind-reading technique that will help you to know the difference between what women say they want and what they really want in a man. Many guys miss out on getting laid because they take the word no literally, when the woman is just playing games and testing the guy. If he knows how to identify these things, he will get laid a lot more. These are little tests that women do to separate the boys from the men, because we are programmed to always find the best men. 7 things that few men do and are incredibly attractive to women. And the 6th, my friend, drives any woman crazy. How to be a guy that women seek out for casual sex. Imagine having several women ready to go out with you when you feel like having sex. All it takes is a text message or a phone call. And all this without getting too attached to you, demanding a serious relationship, and knowing exactly what they will get when they meet you. Women like that too, you know? It's up to you to make her comfortable with the situation. The loyalty technique that makes her want you to be faithful more and more, and not even look at other men. This will make the woman addicted to you. I bet you've seen some women who are extremely destroyed after the end of a relationship. This happens because the guys unconsciously addicted her to him. The problem is that most men have no idea how to do this. The pleasure guide. Did you know that women watch porn, but not that men do? This happens because what turns a man on doesn't necessarily turn a woman on. And that's exactly why there are so many lesbians these days. When you discover the secret of the perfect grip, no woman will want to have sex with you just once. How do you make a woman orgasm so much? They'll beg you to stop because they can't handle the pleasure. Imagine the woman moaning so loudly, with her legs numb, unable to even speak from the pleasure. Use this technique and have this power. You'll be the best man in the life of any woman who is lucky enough to sleep with you. The big lies that every woman tells when she cheats on a man. You'll learn the secret ingredient that makes any woman consider you a good guy to date. You know that girl who makes your eyes shine? She'll beg to date you because she's afraid of losing you to others. How can you make a woman more interested in you without even talking to her? That's right. With the right posture and attitude, you can have this devastating effect on women. The attraction-destroying mistake that makes any woman instantly disgusted by you. You'll understand why everything is going so well. And then out of nowhere, she starts being monosyllabic until she pulls away completely. Because declaring yourself will not only make you lose the woman, but will also make you look like a clown, be ridiculed, and even become a meme on the internet. Why is giving compliments the worst thing you can do at the beginning of a conversation? And how can complimenting her in a unique way and at the right time make her crazy about you? How do some women take advantage of and ruin the lives of rich men? And how can being poor be an advantage to make a woman fall in love with you? The good host technique that will make women come to your house willingly, without any fuss. How can a sequence of touches make a woman have no choice but to have sex with you? Few men know this, but there are points on a woman's body that, when touched, give a lot of pleasure. Whenever a man touches me in these special places, I simply can't control myself. And if you touch these buttons, it's inevitable that a woman won't think about anything else but having sex with you. How do women want every man to start a conversation with them? And why will knowing this prevent them from reacting badly to you, getting nervous, or ignoring you? Why should you act differently when you want to have a serious relationship and when you just want to have sex? Women are very good at reading body language, and if you act the same way in both cases, we will play hardball. Why is waiting 3 days to talk to a woman after a date the worst thing you can do? And when is the best time to make the next contact? How do you make such a good impression on dates and sex that she will lose her mind and will go around advertising you to all her friends, making you a highly desired guy among women? You'll arrive at places and they'll whisper about you. Do you want that? You'll know everything about women's games and how to destroy each one of them. The signs of interest women have. How to act when they take the initiative. How to be a different guy from the others. How to act on dates. How to approach women. Everything they don't tell you and much more. Imagine meeting a woman and knowing exactly how she thinks. Never again falling for games or missing out on the opportunity to have sex quickly because you're afraid of getting rejected. Knowing exactly where to touch, what to say and what to do in bed with a woman, and listening to women talk. You're the best guy I've ever slept with. Arriving somewhere and seeing women looking at you as you walk by, since you can be attractive without even talking to them. Imagine easily winning over the girl you like, since you know exactly what goes on in a woman's head. Receiving requests for help from friends to win over women, since you'll be the guy who understands the most, and who everyone turns to when it comes to women. Imagine feeling the urge to have sex, and all you have to do is pick up the phone, choose one, and make a date. All this because you know all the secrets of women. So if you have a special girl in mind, if you want to have easy sex with several women, and be known as a sensational guy in bed, if your relationship has cooled off and your girlfriend or wife no longer seeks you out for sex, or always has a headache at the right time, or even if you want to be known as the most attractive guy in town, or want a girlfriend, the Guide to the Hidden Side of Women has everything you need to unconsciously be the best woman. It's the best option for women, even if you're not strong, handsome, or don't have money in your pocket. Sounds good? Don't worry, there are bonuses. That's right, there are special bonuses for you. You don't have to be handsome to attract women's attention. Go to a shopping mall, and you'll definitely see a very beautiful woman or an ugly guy. And before you say that he must be rich, money is not what attracts real women. only those who are interested. And you don't want to have a worthless woman by your side, do you? In fact, you need to be attractive. And this has nothing to do with beauty. It's a set of behaviors and looking good visually. In the Secret Guide for Women, you will learn what behaviors you should adopt to become a unique and extremely attractive guy. And to give it an extra bonus, there is a way to dress. That's why I prepared the chapter on fashion and clothes and styles. In it, I show you how to dress correctly to be even more attractive. You will learn what types of pieces and styles women like the most. You will look like a model or a movie actor. I also give tips on places I would like to go. I mention several places that not only I, but any woman would love for you to take them to. And the best part is that they are places where you don't need a car, and you don't spend practically anything. Do you think taking them to expensive restaurants impresses women? Unfortunately not, my dear. In addition to not feeling well and feeling shy in places like that, we hardly eat anything. And then, we spend the rest of the night hungry. Do you know anyone who is hungry in a good mood? Well, now it makes sense that she wouldn't want to continue the night after, doesn't it? Besides, any woman, no matter how naive she is, knows that a guy who tries to impress her with money has nothing more to offer. It may even work with gold diggers, who only go out for money and to get free dinners, but not with the rest of the women. A real woman wants a date in a place that's been designed for her, and a guy who's prepared for her. She wants to feel special. And in this guide, you'll have several options. All of this while having an amazing date and spending almost nothing. How much is that worth to you? It's priceless. But of course you can keep going to clubs, spending hundreds of dollars on tickets, taxis, and drinks, and go home alone. You can also give her expensive gifts, take her to different places, be a nice guy, and then hear a "we're just friends" chant. You can run around like a clown, singing cartoon songs, while the woman laughs, not with you, but at you. And out of pity, you can also buy dozens of expensive books, all written by men, telling what they think about what women think. But all of this can, and probably will, go wrong. And do you know why? Because you will never know as much as a woman. After all, you will never be one. Well, at least I hope so. And no matter how much a man knows about the subject, dates thousands of women, or has a beautiful, faithful, and devoted wife, he will still always be a man. And men, there is no way to know everything that goes on in our heads. In fact, many times not even women know this. Imagine a man, and while you continue the way you are, in this life of yours, another guy, maybe even one who is watching this video right now, can learn the hidden side of women and become the king of your city. Who knows, maybe even win over the woman you want and deserve. How much is it worth to know what goes on in women's heads? How much is it worth to no longer be fooled, to dedicate yourself to a woman, and see her going out with other guys who know how the female mind works? How much is it worth to be able to quickly identify the type of woman and immediately know what to say and how to act to achieve your goal? Be it a quick fuck, a friendship with benefits, or a girlfriend. Knowing how to identify these women who just want to have sex and have quick sex without breaking anyone's heart because they want something more serious. How much is this knowledge worth? How much is it worth to you? You know, a lot. So much that it's even hard to calculate. I could charge a real fortune for this knowledge, since I'm the only woman willing to reveal our secrets. But I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to charge you $1,000, like my brother recommended. I'm also not going to charge you $500, like I think I should. And I'm not even going to charge you $200, which is what many guys spend at a club and come back without kissing anyone. In fact, for just $24.90, you can have free access to the female mind and conquer the woman or women you desire. That's right, less than the cost of an entire pizza a month or a few sandwiches at a fast food chain. All you need to do now is click the button below this video and get the guide. that if you are paying by card, you can rest assured that your invoice will only show Hotmart SDM. If someone has access to your invoice, they won't know what it is. In addition, the material is on Hotmart, one of the largest digital product platforms in the world, and your purchase is 100% secure. If you pay by credit card, no one will know what you bought. As soon as your payment is approved, you will immediately receive an email with your access data to the guide, and you can start today to understand how we women think. If you are with me this far, you know what you really need. You want to have this unlimited access to the hidden minds of women. You want to know exactly how we think and act. But to do that, you have to take the next step. There is a saying that says it is impossible to get different results by doing the same things. What does that mean? That if you keep acting the same way you do, nothing will change. You will continue to not understand women, get rejected, and be made a fool of. Is that what you want? Do you want to go through what my brother went through? Did your friends go through it? And most likely, what you went through too. I confess that it was hard for me to tell everything about us. I run the risk of ill-intentioned guys using this knowledge to sleep with and throw away thousands of women. And of course I don't want that to happen. I am a woman, and I will always be by their side. But the right women, who don't deceive or screw around with nice guys, that I open the secret book of women to help men like you, who are good and who don't deserve to be deceived. In fact, they deserve to have the best women by their side. And you have the chance to do that. You have the chance to take the shortest route, to have privileged information that only a woman could give you. And with that, there's no way to go wrong. All you have to do is click the button below the video, subscribe, and watch. You'll never be in doubt about what a woman really wants again, that you'll see that there are a lot of worthless women out there. And with these women, you'll have sex and nothing more. If you want to, of course. And that there are also thousands of good, kind, dedicated, and faithful women. And knowing how to tell the difference will save you a lot of money, time, and suffering. You'll be able to get inside the female mind and know exactly how to act with women. You'll be a naturally attractive guy. You'll get tired of hearing that you're the best guy in bed, that they never imagined that a man could know exactly where to touch and what to do to drive a woman crazy. You'll be a myth, a living legend among men. And if for any reason at all, you think this guide isn't for you, just send a single email without even giving any explanation, and I'll give you every penny you spent back. No questions asked. My intention here is to help those who really want to be helped. So click the button below this video right now, and you'll have access to all of this today. You can see that men think one way and women think another, right? You know that women are more sensitive, but also much crueler when they want to be. We can play like no one else can and make any man our pet, with just a snap of our fingers. We use cruel games like sex strikes, drama, and even crying. We are natural actresses. And all of this is destroyed by a man who knows how women think. And the only way to know exactly how we work is to follow the guide. Everything is ready. All our secrets are open, wide open, like the legs of a gambling woman when she wants something. In other words, there is no way you can lose. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you're waiting for. This is a gem. It's the secret book of women, and there is no risk whatsoever. So don't waste any time. Click on the link below this video and get the guide Venus Secret, the hidden side of women. Well, I admit that it would be a pleasure for me to help you, just as I helped my brother. I don't want to see good men crying over bad women anymore. But now, you only have 3 options, and you have to choose just one of them. The first is to close this video and continue your normal life, knowing that you had the chance to discover women's secrets, to be next to beautiful and sensational women, crazy to see you, kiss you, marry you, knowing that you could be the most attractive guy a woman has ever seen. The second option is to try to learn on your own, or by following other men's tips. You may even get results one day, someday, in a few months or even years, or even never. And in that time, you may see the woman you desire so much in the arms of a scoundrel, a man worse than you, who will sleep with her in every possible way, and then dump her like a piece of trash. You will also fall for games and be made a fool of by female beings who refuse to call me a woman. And remember, a man will never know as much about women as a woman. And there is still the third option, which is the one that guys who don't have time to waste choose. Click the button below, buy the guide, and start to understand how we work. After understanding, know exactly what we like in conversations, contacts, dates, and even in bed. And be the most sensational guy a woman has ever seen. And when the time comes, the guy who will make a woman happy forever, who will make her desire you more than anything, be completely in love and dedicate himself to you for every day of her life. I hope you make the right decision. Anyway, I hope you are happy regardless of your decision. A kiss.